Here's why most videographers stay broke and what you can do about it. My name is Landon Rhodes, and I've worked with over 140 video business owners to help them build healthy, successful, scalable businesses. And today I'm going to walk you through what you need to avoid if you don't want to be broke. The first mistake I see video business owners making is that they are all things to all people. They try and work in the B2C world. So they're selling, weddings or headshots for seniors, but they're also doing stuff in the corporate world. And they're trying to work in the trades, or one day they're working in fashion. The next day they're working for, something to do with sports. And this is a massive mistake because there's an old proverb that says the man who chases two rabbits catches none. And there's a lot of truth to that, because if you're constantly trying to just go get the next deal of anyone who will pay you, how can you ever become known for something? And so that's the very first mistake that I see creatives and video business owners specifically making, is that they're just all things to all people. And they don't have any sort of specialization or anything that they can be known for to be excellent at. And the way to solve that is to actually make a decision, is to say, I'm going to go in this very specific direction. I'm going to market towards this very specific type of person. And so one of the easiest ways to break that down, other than just telling you, hey, pick a niche, right? The easiest way that I've seen that I've helped people break that down is start off deciding, am I going to be in B2B, business to business, or am I going to be in B2C, business to consumer? So that's the first kind of divide that you need to make, is which direction am I going there? Then from there, deciding what specific industries do you want to serve. And then a nice filter that you could put on that would be any industry that's making at least, and I'm saying a bare minimum of $1 million per year, with some exceptions of people who are making about $500,000 to $1 million per year. Now, you might be wondering, why that number specifically? Well, the global standard for marketing of what businesses normally invest in advertising and marketing is about 7%. So if you're looking at 7% of $1 million annually, that's $70,000. So if you could make $70,000 per client or up to that amount of money, you're in good shape. If you're serving somebody that makes $100,000 per year, then you're looking at $7,000 annually. And that's if you're taking their entire budget and just doing it, just selling them what you want to sell them, right? Assuming they don't have any other advertising expenses. So with that in mind, you can start with B2B, B2C. Then you can just say, okay, I want them to be making at least $1 million per year. And that should really narrow down the amount of people that you would kind of give you an idea of who you could serve. And then the third filter that I kind of look at that helps me determine when I'm making my decision on a niche is this going to be a service or a product-based company? So to recap, that's B2B, B2C, $1 million plus. And then is it going to be a service-based business or a product-based business? So service-based business would be like a plumbing company or somebody that does, a specific, like a cleaning service, right? Then you've got product-based businesses. So if you're specifically, it's like a weird one, but let's say that you're, instead of selling the service of plumbing, you're actually selling the plunger itself. Instead of selling the service of cleaning, you're selling the cleaning products themselves, or at least the company would. So those are the first three filters that I tell my clients to use if they're making a decision to niche down into a specific industry. And then also looking at types of customers who have a propensity and a need and a desire to get content created for their business. If they do not believe in the mechanism of video, then it's going to be really difficult to get them to invest with you. I am not into selling the unsellable. I want to make myself known for people who would love to buy what I would love to sell them, in the words of Myron Golden. Last thing I would say on that too is that there are two different niches that every video business has. So there's the niche that you market towards, the work that you market towards and actually pursue. And then there's the stuff that you receive. So the stuff that you pursue and the stuff that you receive. And I always tell my clients, I never want you to feel like you have to turn off the faucet of the work that you receive, because as you go do more and more great work in the market, naturally people will find out about you. Naturally, your name will become more known, and you'll get people coming out of the woodwork with different types of businesses saying, hey, could you help me? Could you help me? And sometimes that stuff is actually really fun, profitable, but it's not necessarily something that you would continue to market, because if you marketed that, then you would get more of the same, which is all sorts of random stuff, which is what most video business owners are doing now. So I don't want you to necessarily turn off the faucet of the work that you're receiving. I just want you to put intentionality and focus into what is the specific work that I want to market for, that I can do more of, that we can create a proven process around, that can be really profitable and scalable, that I can build a team of people around. As you guys are kind of starting to see where I'm going with this, it's what actually allows you to build a healthy, scalable video business. So that is number one. The second mistake that I see keeping video business owners broke is they chose the wrong model. Now, if you built your business around just you as an individual, that is considered a freelance type model, where if you stop working for the day, the business literally stops making money. Now, let's kind of change that. And let's say that you would build a video agency to where you sold specific contracts to a specific customer, and you had a team of people to help you fulfill and actually deliver those products and services. So for one day, if you decide, or a week, that you would like to take a vacation with your family, the business continues to work and continues to make money. And if you're in this model, this is the big mistake I see people making, is like, there are people that are freelancers right now that think they have a business, but the second they stop working, they stop making money. And so this might offend you. It's not intentional, but it might offend you. You don't actually have a business. You just have a really high paying job. If you're making a lot of money, if you're not making a lot of money, you just have a job. And that's why you hear people say, like, you've maybe heard the adage before of, I left my 40-hour per week job so I could work 100 hours a week, have no consistency, sleep less, work harder, but it's all for myself, right? With the ability to make your own time, there are some very real benefits to that. So no hate. I started off as a freelancer myself, but once I realized that when I stopped working, I stopped making money, I knew that I needed to build a different model. And that's where the video agency model came in. So that's the second mistake, is actually building the wrong model. Mistake number 3 that I see video business owners making that's keeping them broke is that they don't have a predictable method of client acquisition. So what do I mean by this? If you don't have a system that is actively working to bring in new clients day in and day out, if you're relying solely on word of mouth and referrals for your next project to come in, then the second that you stop putting an effort to go get more business, the business literally stops growing, and anything that's not growing is dying. So what we want to do to keep this business going and to keep the business growing is get a predictable lead generation system in. I actually just did a video on this not too long ago. So if we can link the video here in this, I'll show you guys specifically step by step a breakdown of exactly how we turn $1 into $5, $1 into $10 through paid advertising to grow our video business. And this method of building a predictable client acquisition model is the answer to solve a lot of the inconsistencies and the constant reliance on word of mouth and referrals. That is the answer to actually get out of that, because many of you have maybe heard this before of like, it feels like I'm on a revenue roller coaster. And that's these up and down months where 1 month of, $20,000 contract will come in, or a $10,000 contract to come in, and then 2 months it'll be like stagnant. And that's fine in the grand scheme of things if you're looking at your income over the course of a year of like, oh yeah, I made this much money. But month to month, it doesn't actually feel that good. And it's also not scalable and predictable, because if you had bills of say $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 per month, and 1 month was $20,000 and the next month was zero, well then it's really difficult to build a real business with staff, with team members that can help you grow and deliver services to your clients if you literally don't know how much money you're going to make next month. And so a lot of people, what they try and do is solve this problem with retainers, where retainers are good and they're a great way to increase your, total amount of money that clients are paying you over a longer time horizon. It's also a great way to allow customers to spend more with you and finance it over time. But if you lose that retainer and you don't have the ability to go get another retainer, then you're in just as a vulnerable spot as you were before. So the way to get out of this, the way to get off of the revenue roller coaster, is to build a predictable client acquisition system to get closer and closer to your goals and build a healthy, stable, scalable business. So that's the number 3 mistake I see them making, is that they don't have a predictable method of client acquisition. And the 4th mistake that I see video business owners and videographers making that's keeping them broke is that they don't have a consistent sales and onboarding process. So during the sales process, when a customer comes in, they're interested in getting some video done, you have to have specific questions that you ask them in order to help them trust you, in order to help them understand why they need the very thing that you are selling them. time. And it's not enough to try and convince them and get pushy and salesy. No one likes that stuff. And it's a tactic from like the 50s and 60s, right? That's not how things are actually sold in 2025. So we ask very specific questions during our discovery process, and we teach our clients how this stuff all works so that they know what specifically to ask at what times, so that they can overcome and basically reverse engineer out any objections that might come up in the form of sales resistance towards the end of the call. And then once a client is ready to move forward, we have step-by-step processes from when they give you the verbal commit of like, yes, let's do it, to boom, boom, boom. Here's the next 3 things that happen every single time, so that the client feels that they're going through an experience. It doesn't feel like it's your first rodeo or the first time you've ever closed a deal, if that makes sense. So that's the 4th mistake that I see video business owners making that's keeping them broke, is that they don't have a consistent sales and onboarding process. And the 5th mistake that I see video business owners and videographers making that's keeping them broke is the fact that they want to do it all alone. In the very beginning, when I first started my business, I knew that if I was going to get to where I wanted to go to build a multiple 6-figure per year business and even up to 7 figures per year, I knew that I was going to need a mentor. I knew I was going to need some help from somebody that had gone before me and actually created that result for themselves. It's crazy to think that if you've never done something, that you're just going to kind of pick it up as you go, or that the skills will just naturally kind of come to you. And that actually may be true if you look at over a long enough time horizon. If you were to give yourself 10, 15, 20 years to make a, multiple 6 figures per month or even multiple 6 figures per year, I would say if you do something for that long, there's a pretty good chance that you'll actually get there. But for those of you who actually want to create that reality in your life in not 20 years, and you want to shorten that timeline to success, the number one way that you can do that is from learning from the success and failures of others. And there's no better pathway to doing that than hiring a mentor or a coach to specifically guide you through that process, which is one of the things I'm most passionate about, because after investing over $150,000 into my own personal development, I've learned that there are people that know how to do things faster and better and easier than me. And if I spend the next 3 years of my life learning how to do that, I will literally lose those 3 years. But if I can just get around this one issue that I'm specifically having in my business, and I can seek out a mentor who can help me, I literally get all of that time back. And sure, do I invest a little bit of money to go faster? Yeah, but money can be replaced. Money can be replenished. You can always make more money, but the one thing that you can never get back, guys, is your time. And so that's what I've seen in terms of mistakes that are keeping video business owners broke and what you can do to get around it. And so those are the top 5 mistakes that I see video business owners and videographers make every single day in their business that are keeping them broke. And if you're thinking, Landon, this is so helpful, but I need somebody specifically to help me in my business to avoid some of these obstacles or get around some of these issues that I'm seeing that are keeping me stuck. Well, I've been there, and I'm so glad that I made the investment into a mentor, into a coach to help me get there further, faster, with less pain along the way. So if that's you and you're like, man, I could really use some guidance and some help in this, click the link in the description below, book a call with our team. We'd love to talk with you and see how we can help you, reach, whether it's multiple 6 figures per year, multiple 6 figures per month. We've done everything in between, and we'd love to help you get there. So book a call with our team. We'll talk to you soon.